Hi everyone, Mackie79 here and welcome to this new video. I haven't got the opportunity to play much Magic Duel since the Battle for Zendikar released. So today I'm just gonna open some booster packs with the gold that I had from before. So as you can see I have 2440 gold. It's not that much, I know, you need a lot more for the all set to unlock. But I'm not gonna spend any more money on Wizards of the Coast, so I'm just going to earn the cards like this, and with the new quests I don't think that will be a problem to gain some boosters. So I guess it will be 16 boosters then that we can open. So let's start with 8. We shall open 16 boosters. Okay, so the first 8, 1200. Okay, confirm purchase. So the reason I'm doing a video of this is I think it's fun, and I think some people like videos like this to have a little comment on the cards. So let's open our first booster. Let's see, what do we get? Many of the cards are actually very new to me because I didn't check it out much on Steam. So much of them are brand new for me. So let's see. Touch of the Void, 3 mana, 2 colorless, 1 red. Devoid, okay, we already know that. It means that the card has no color. Touch of the Void deals 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way, it would die this turn. Exile it instead. Okay, so it's a burn card at sorcery speed. I prefer to have burn cards like this on instant speed. 3 mana for 3 damage. It's okay. If you can see Fury Impulse, okay, it doesn't do damage to the player, but it can do 3 damage for 1, so this is a little bit more expensive. Twin Bolt deals 2 damage, but you can split the damage, so that's more versatile. You have more options with that too. But here you can exile a creature, which isn't bad neither, and in dedicated decks where the Devoid matters, it will probably be a good card. So on to the next, it's a green one, Tajuru Stalwart, also 3 mana, 1 green. Converge. Tajura Stalwart enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Okay, so obviously this card is meant to play in multicolored decks. 3 mana, so that means that you can get a maximum of 3 counters on it. So actually the maximum you can get out of it is a 3/4. 3 mana for a 3/4. Yeah, okay, it's not too exciting. I see it's also an ally, so in an ally deck maybe to fill the deck it's not that bad, but on its own it's not very exciting. So the next one, 5 mana for the Territorial Ballad, also 1 green mana. It's a creature beast and it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Territorial Ballad gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Once again, yeah, it's not a bad card, but 5 mana for a 4/4 is a bit steep in cost. It's a bit too expensive for my taste. And the landfall, okay, it's good to have. The landfall ability is actually a great ability, but I don't know. I think there are better cards than this. On to the next. Hagra Sharpshooter for 3 mana, 1 black. We get also an ally, and for 5 mana, a target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Okay, once again, unfortunately, this doesn't seem too exciting either. If you have the spare mana, but if you already have 5 mana where you can't do anything with it, then I think your deck isn't balanced very well. But yeah, if you're out of cards and you don't have anything else to play, yeah, maybe it's good. So let's see the next card. Tide Drifter, 2 mana, and we get a 0/5 Eldrazi. Also Devoid, and other colorless creatures you control get +0/+1. So okay, this is getting more interesting. I guess in some control decks where you turtle up, where you play the turtle, I can see potential in this in some control decks. So yeah, this seems quite legit, quite good. And then we got in our first booster pack already a mythic, and we got the Sire of Stagnation. 6 mana, 1 blue, 1 black. We get an Eldrazi, also Devoid of course, all the Eldrazi's are Devoid. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player exiles the top 2 cards of his or her library and you draw 2 cards. Wow, that's actually pretty good. The 6 mana cost for a 5/7 is already good, and then its ability is actually very good because yeah, your opponent won't play any more lands, I guess, and if he does, yeah, then you draw 2 cards, and he exiles the top 2 cards. So yeah, I see potential in this card. It's a quite cool card. Okay, so let's open the next booster. Okay, so what's this? We get this spell, actually that's a reprint. For 1 mana at instant speed, of course instant speed, you can counter a target instant spell. Now, yeah, this is an okay card. Finally some good counter cards made it into this game. It is yeah, it has to be under the right circumstances, though not every spell of course is an instant spell, but I have to see the other cards and which cards will be played a lot and if they're instants or not. So it depends, but the 1 cost is already very good. Then Goblin Warpaint, 2 mana, 1 red. We get an enchantment, an aura, and the enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has haste. Wow, yeah, that's yeah, for aggro decks obviously this is a very good card. At Goblin Glory, yeah, the Goblin Glory Chaser. Well, my Goblin Glory Chaser, and you play this on your 2nd turn. Yeah, this is not that bad, not bad at all. Then Touch of the Void again, so we saw that one already. Then Retreat to Valakut, 3 mana, enchantment, landfall. Whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control, choose 1. Target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn, or target creature can block this turn. Yeah, this is actually not bad. In an aggro deck, if your opponent plays blockers, you can choose for for a creature not to block, which is great because the damage comes through. So yeah, maybe yeah, this card has potential. You will also have the choice to, if he doesn't have a blocker, you can buff your creature +2/+0, which is also very good. So yeah, this is not a bad card. Then Coastal Discovery, 4 mana, 1 blue. At sorcery speed we draw 2 cards and Awaken 4 for 6 mana. If you cast this spell for 6, also put 4+1/+1 counters on target land you control and it becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. Okay, so yeah, that's actually not that bad. If you don't need to draw cards at instant speed, then this is a very good choice. If you need it at instant speed, then I guess that Inspiration is still better, but if you don't really need that, then I think you can better go for this one. The 6 mana you can choose, you can play it for 6, and one of your lands becomes a 4/4 actually, that's with haste. So yeah, it does 2 things and that's always good. I think that we'll see play. And then Planar Outburst for 5 mana, 2 white. Sorcery speed, destroy all non-land creatures, and then again we get the Awaken ability. Also actually the same if you play it for 8 mana, that's quite a lot already. But then you also get a 4/4. So yeah, even without the Awaken, destroy all non-land creatures. These are a real sweeper. This wipes the board from your creatures. Languish was the best one we had before, but some creatures survive that because it only does -4/-4. But this one destroys everything, and this is because of that. It's already a very good card. And for 5 mana, actually a good cost either. Also, yeah, I will absolutely play this card. Absolutely. Okay, so on to the next booster. What do we get now? Brilliant Spectrum for 4 mana. We get once again the Converge ability. Draw X cards, where X is the number of colors that you spend to cast this, and then discard 2 cards. Okay, so for 4 mana you can potentially draw 4 cards, and then you have to discard 2, but yeah, you can build around that. That's not a real problem actually. So yeah, this is actually pretty good card. A card for per mana is very good. Of course, if you don't have the 4 colors and you have to play this because you need cards, yeah, it decreases in value, of course, because you still have the need of 4 mana. But if you get only 2 colors, you will only draw 2 cards, and then you have to discard 2. So yeah, not a card that you play early game. Then Wavewing Elemental for 6 mana. We get an elemental creature with flying, and he also has landfall. And whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, he gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It's a bit the same as the green creature that we saw before. Once again, I'm not too excited about this. You pay 6 mana for a 3/4. I mean, that's expensive. Okay, it's a flyer, I give it that, but I think there are better cards than this. Then the Sludge Crawler for 1 black mana. We get a Eldrazi, Devoid, and Ingest. Ingest is whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles a top card of his or her library. And then for 2 mana, colorless, you can pump him and he gets +1/+1. If you've seen my video of the story mode, we encountered this one a few times, so it's no stranger anymore. It's a bit of a pain. What do I think about it? Well, 1 mana for 1/1, yeah, it's pretty simple. The Ingest, yeah, in dedicated decks that can abuse the Ingest. So in Eldrazi decks, yeah, I absolutely think that it's got its value. The +1/+1 for 2, it's okay. It's yeah, I think it's a good aggressive creature. Then the Void Attendant for 3 mana, 1 green. We get a Eldrazi Processor. That sounds so wrong. Eldrazi Processor. Devoid, and for if we pay 2 mana, put a card an opponent owns from exile into that player's graveyard. And then we can put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield. It has sacrificed this creature and add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. So okay, now these are the cards that abuse the previous ability, the Ingest. So we exile cards of our opponent, and then afterwards we can get something out of it for us. So the Eldrazi Scions, those are a big value in your deck, because if you want to play Ulamog or big creatures, the Scions will help you to cast that very quickly. Then the Core Entanglers for 5 mana, 1 white. I also know this one, also saw it in the story mode. It's an ally creature, and whenever he or another one enters the battlefield under your control, you can tap a target creature an opponent controls. Actually not that bad. It's a bit costly though, it's a bit expensive. 5 mana again for 3/4, once again not too exciting. But the allies, yeah, they buff each other, they make each other stronger and stronger, so in combination with other allies I think that this one maybe has potential, although it's cost. Then for our rare we got the Blight Herder for 5 colorless mana. We get also an Eldrazi Processor creature, and when we cast him you may put 2 cards your opponent owns from exile into his graveyard, and if we do, we get 3 of those colorless Eldrazi Seance creatures. Actually not that bad. So when you cast him, if you didn't cast him with Seance, that means that you already have 5 mana, and then the turn after you can play a creature for 8 or something else for 8. So yeah, this is not bad. And for the 5 you get a 4/5, which is still okay. So yeah, in Eldrazi decks or maybe something else, yeah, this has potential. So the next booster, we open 3. This is a 4th, and I see already a card that I like, but we shall begin with the beginning. Ghostly Sentinel for 5 mana. Lots of 5 mana cards. We get a 3/3, oh my god. Flying Vigilance, yeah, this is not it. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, that's not for me. Then Unnatural Aggression, 3 mana, and we get to fight a creature at instant speed, which is actually pretty good, and if the creature dies it gets exiled instead. This is a pretty good card. Green doesn't have removal, so it's always the fight cards, and this one is actually not a bad one, so yeah. It's also colorless, so if you play Eldrazi, yeah, you probably have some creatures that will win the fight for you. Then the Eyeless Watcher for 4 mana, 1 green. We get another Eldrazi drone, Devoid, and then when he enters the battlefield, put 2 of those Seance onto the battlefield. That's actually pretty good for its cost, although it's only the ability where you will play it for, because yeah, it's also a bit, yeah, now I see it's only a 1/1, so you play actually 4 mana for a 1/1, and okay, you get the 2 Seals that will help you to cast something bigger next turn, but still I think it's a bit too expensive. Would it have been a 2/2 or maybe 2/3 or something, then it would be already better. Then Titan's Presence, also a card that we've already encountered. We, at instant speed, if we cast this, we reveal a colorless creature from our hand, and then we exile a target creature if its power is less or equal to the revealed card, which actually not that bad. It's also, yeah, it's another removal card. It's 3 mana. Yeah, it's a bit steep perhaps, bit expensive maybe. I think it will see play. I think it's a good card, but that, and you have to have something in your hand, because so you those are different circumstances. You pay 3, and then you, on top of that, you have to be able to show a good card, so your opponent also knows what you have in your hand. I don't know. I have to test this before I can say my opinion about it. Then Skyrider Elf, for an X cost and 2 mana, green and a blue, we get a flying ally, an elf also. Converge, so he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each color of mana we spent on it. So yeah, you can spend 5 colors on it because he has an X value. So this is maximum 5/5 flying, which is not bad. So you pay 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer, but then you need already all the colors. So yeah, it's not bad, but the X cost is interesting, because if you pay 3, you get a 3/3 flyer. If you, for example, pay the green and the blue, which you have to pay, and uh, a red, so 3, then you get a 3/3 flyer. Yeah, I think it's a good card. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is great. And he will work together with this one, for example, with Munda, the ambush leader. We pay 4 mana, 1 red and 1 white, and we get a legendary ally with haste. And whenever he or another ally enters the battlefield, you can take a look at your top 4 cards of your library, and if we do, we can reveal the ally cards and put those cards on the top of our library in any order we desire. So yeah, that's actually pretty good, because for example, if you gonna play Boros ally deck, for example, only in those colors, red and white, then yeah, those aren't the colors, I mean, that give card advantage. And this one, it doesn't give card advantage because it doesn't let you draw the card, but you can actually, it's a scry that you do. A scry for 4 each time that you mini scry for 4 deep every time you play an ally. So yeah, I think this one is good, and with all the potential the allies have, I think you can build a decent ally deck around him. So, on to the next booster. Okay, let's see. We get a Nirkana Assassin for 3 and 1 black. And we another ally, a Vampire Assassin ally. Vampire are also a thing in Zendikar. And whenever you gain life, Nirkana Assassin gains death touch until end of turn. Now this is interesting, and we get a 2/3. So okay, the 3 cost for a 2/3 is okay, and we can give him potential death touch, which is actually not that bad. I think maybe in a black-white vampire deck, life gain deck, that this can work. Yeah. Then Boiling Earth for 2 mana, 1 red. He deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, and it has Awaken for 7. Wow. Awaken 4 for 7, even with the 1 damage that you deal, I don't know, that seems a lot of mana for what it is. But on the other hand, if you don't have anything else to do with your mana, you get a 4/4 on top. The 1 damage to each creature, I don't know, it's a little underwhelming, I guess. 1 damage isn't much, but I guess if your opponent goes weenie aggro, then I guess it pays up. Then you will get your value out of it. But yeah, in all other cases, I think this is a bit of a dead card actually. Then the Valakut Invoker, 3 mana. We get a creature shaman, not an ally, very important. And if we pay 8 mana, you don't have to tap him, but if we play 8 mana, he deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Yeah, that's also an ability that returns from Zendikar. 3 mana for a 2/3 in red. Okay, yeah. And the 8, yeah, later game it's good, but other than that, I can't imagine if you play red, especially mono or Boros, that you want to live until that you want the game to still be going at your 8th turn. You want it to be finished already. So I don't know, maybe in other decks that it's got potential. Chasm Guide for 4 mana. Now this is an ally, so that's already interesting. And he does rally, so that means whenever he or another ally enters the battlefield under our control, creatures you control gain haste. Wow, that's nice. Now that's a good ally. So every time an ally comes into play, he gets haste. Simple as that. Now that's worth its 4 mana cost. It is a 3/2, so his body is a little less, but 3 damage that you can do is not that bad. Yeah, I think this one is actually pretty good. Yeah, that's a good ally card if you want to go aggro. Then the Cryptic Cruiser for 4 mana. We get another Eldrazi with Devoid. So, and if we pay 3, put a card an opponent owns from exile into the player's graveyard, and we get to tap a target creature. Okay, so obviously this one has to go in combination with cards that has Ingest, because if you don't, then you won't be able to abuse the ability. Still not sure if this ability from always taking a card out of exile, if it works well. I guess it does, but like I said, I must test those abilities before I can judge. Then Omnath, Locus of Rage, we play it for 7 mana with 2 red and 2 green. We get a legendary creature. It's a mythic, and then landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 5/5 red and green element creature token onto the battlefield. Wow, that's not bad. And whenever Omnath, Locus of Rage, or another elemental you control dies, he deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Yeah, well, this is a bomb, obviously. You play 7 mana, but I guess it's worth it for a 5/5. Because he can create other 5/5s. So best to play him on your 8th turn actually, so that you play him and you can play a land right after it. Then you get another 5/5 and then you get a good deal. Now the ability from whenever he or another elemental you control dies, he deals 3 damage. That's not bad, but yeah, if you don't have a sack outlet to sack other elementals, I guess your opponent will kill this one first. I don't think he will kill the other 5/5s first before this one. So yeah, but he does 3 extra damage then. So yeah, this is a cool card actually. And if I remember correctly, Omnath also was a mono green card from Zendikar. And so he's evolved a bit. Okay, so next booster. So we get Myers Malice for 4 mana. Our opponent discards 2 cards, simple as that. And also Awaken 3. So for 6 mana, he discards 2 cards, and we get a 3/3. We make one of our lands a 3/3. Yeah, I think it's okay. We haven't seen a lot of cards that make you discard in this game yet. Besides Liliana, I guess you didn't see much play of other cards that did that. So yeah, I think it will change the game a bit. Discarding, letting your opponent discard cards, yeah, for 4 mana. I think the cost is okay, and potentially you can get your Awaken ability. So yeah, I think it's okay. Then the Goblin Warpaint, we already seen that one. Then a special land. Looming Spires enters the battlefield tapped. And when he does, then the target creature gets +1/+1 and gains first strike until end of turn. Well, that's actually not bad either. So yeah, once again in aggro decks, this one, yeah, you might consider it to include it in your deck. Then the Chasm Guide, the creature that gives your allies haste, we already saw that one. And here we got another vampire, Bloodbound Vampire for 4 mana, 2 black. It's also an ally, and whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Now that's once again with the gaining life, like the previous vampire that we saw. So I guess that's a thing. So when we gain life, our vampires will gain something extra out of it. And yeah, 3/3 for 4. Bit expensive, but I guess you'll be able to buff them up quite quickly. Then once again the Munda, we already saw him. I'm actually pretty happy that I already have the 2 copies of him now. Okay, so the next booster. I'm hoping for a Planeswalker though. Speaking of which, but we shall see that one right away. First, Brilliant Spectrum. We already saw that one. Then the Sludge Crawler, already saw it too. Boiling Earth, yeah, saw it too, not too exciting. Void Attendant, I guess we saw this one too, yeah. And the Chasm Guide, oh, awesome, I already got the 3 copies now. Perfect. And then Kiora, this is a card where I'm very happy with. Master of the Deads, we pay 4 mana, of which one blue and the other one green. And she starts with 4 loyalty counters, which is already a pretty good body. And then +1 untap up to 1 target creature and up to 1 target land. Now that ability is already very good because yeah, if you've attacked, you can untap your creature to block. So it's kind of a vigilance thing that you can give to a target creature. And you can untap another land, which is also not bad, because if you play the Awake ability, then maybe you can untap 2 target creatures, because your land is a creature then. Or you can also take, if you tap out all your mana, for example, you have to cast something for 6, but you only have 5 mana. You tap your 5, you untap 1, and you can cast your card for 6 that you need. Then her minus abilities, the -2, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card and or a land card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. Yeah, so this is a really great ability. It gives you card advantage. Yeah, absolutely great ability. You go 4 cards deep, and the rest you put them in your library, in your graveyard, which doesn't have to be a bad thing either. You can abuse your graveyard if you put a little bit black in your deck. That should be no problem at all. Then the -8, we get an emblem. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it fight target creature, then put 3 8/8 blue octopus creature tokens onto the battlefield. Wow. Yeah, so I guess this is like all the ultimates of the Planeswalkers these days. Normally this should be an auto win. Every time you play a creature, you get a 3 8/8. That's actually what it's saying. So okay, you have to fight another creature and maybe your creature loses, but who cares, you get 3 8/8. So although the last ability requires you to play somehow creature deck, alright, first ability, second ability maybe also, but it doesn't have to be like that. You also can use her in control, I guess, with less creatures. But all around, great Planeswalker, very all round, very yeah, you can use her for a lot, and yeah, great Planeswalker. I will be looking forward playing her. So the next booster. Ooh, yeah, I see the horror of online. From online Magic. So the Valakut Invoker, we already saw that one. Then the Giant Mantis. For 4 mana we get a 2/4 with reach. Yeah, pretty boring actually. Is it good? No, I don't think it's good. For 4 mana, 2/4, okay, you can block a flyer, but who cares? That's not too exciting. Then I already saw that one, so skip it. And then, wow, 7 mana for Trample Hexproof. Now Hexproof is an excellent ability. A 7/6, that's actually not bad. So you pay 7 mana, it's quite costly, I admit that, expensive, but you get a 7/6, so that's not bad. And it has Trample and Hexproof, so your opponent has some difficulty to deal with that. We all know Gaze Revenge. The hexproof of that is really difficult to deal with. It's not hexproof, really on Chaos Revenge. It's a bit different ability. Chaos Revenge says that you can't target other colors than only green. This one, Hexproof, means that you can only the owner, I mean the controller of the card, can target this creature. So you can enchant it or whatever you want to do with it, give it haste, all those things you can do it, but your opponent can't target him. That's what Hexproof means. So not a bad card. Hagra Sharpshooter, we already saw that one too. And then the beast, their beasts. Yeah, Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. For 10 colorless mana, you get a lot in return. We get a legendary creature, Eldrazi, and when you cast him, we can exile 2 target permanents. He's indestructible, and whenever he attacks, defending player exiles top 20 cards of his or her library. So not only does this have removal, it's also indestructible. It's a beast because it's a 10/10, it hits hard and it mills. So actually this thing does everything, and it's a pain to get rid of. You can't burn it away, you can't destroy it, you have to exile it or sacrifice it. And that are the only possibilities. I wouldn't bounce it because then you lose an additional 2 target permanents. Very glad that I have it. So yeah, I know the decks that are played nowadays, almost every deck includes an Ulamog, especially the ramp decks. They're built to go fast to ramp and go to Ulamog as fast as possible. So I guess you will see a lot of him, which, yeah, isn't always that good if it's on the other side of the board. So it seems that we have to buy additional boosters, so that means that we're halfway there of this video. Let's buy another 8. So far I'm quite happy with what I got. So open booster, I'm hoping for Ob Nixilis actually. I think that's a great planeswalker. Excited to get that. Demon's Grasp, haven't seen that one before. 5 mana and target creature gets -5/-5 at sorcery speed. Now let me think a bit. That's -5/-5 is actually not bad. But the 5 cost is a bit costly. In black you have a better removal than that. Of what I've seen of the set so far, it doesn't seem that zombies are a thing, so there are still no zombie decks, so I would prefer to play Crew Revival over this one, because also it destroys whatever, and except Ulamog of course, and it's at instant speed, so I guess that's much more value than this one. Now of course if you play 2 of these on, for example, Ulamog, but that's already 10 mana, then you can get rid of it because it gives -10/-10, so then Ulamog dies. But yeah, you have to have 2 of these in your hand, and no. Boiling Earth, already saw that one. Then another special land, Fertile Ticket. Enters the battlefield tapped, and when it does, you may look at the top 5 cards of your library. If you do, reveal up to 1 basic land card from among them. Put that card on top of the library, and the rest on the bottom in any order. Wow, this is actually not a bad land, especially in the beginning when you play this and you don't have much land in your hand. Yeah, that's not bad. You can get a search for land. Then Skyrider Elf, we've seen that one already. Royal's Retribution, we've seen that in the story mode also. It's at instant speed, you can deal 5 damage, which you can divide among attacking or blocking creatures. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit costly. It can kill a 5/5, but it can also kill some aggro weenies, multiple aggros, multiple weenies. So yeah, maybe it's good. I don't think it's bad, but it is 5 mana. So I guess if your opponent sees you're doing nothing and you keep 5 mana open, yeah, he probably knows already that you're gonna play that one. And then we get a rare land, a mountain forest, Cinderglade, and he enters the battlefield tapped unless we control 2 or more basic lands. Now these lands are great. On top of its land, it's a mountain or a forest, so cards that say that you can fetch a mountain or a forest, then yeah, you're good with this. You can fetch a duel. So yeah, this is a good card, absolutely. Then, what do we get now? Another land, I see. Core Castigator, we already saw that one in the story mode. I wasn't too excited about it. Okay, very early aggro. It's maybe not that bad. It is an ally, so for ally aggro decks, Boros, maybe not bad at all. It is a 3/1, so he hits pretty hard early game, but he is vulnerable with 1 toughness. So a Twin Bolt easily, or other burn, can easily get rid of it. Sorry, I skipped one. Unnatural Aggression. Did I already see this one? Oh yeah, it's the fight card. Yeah, that was an okay card. Then the Fertile Ticket, we saw that in the previous booster. The Rot Shambler for 2 mana, and whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Rot Shambler. Okay, this is actually not that bad. In Golgari decks where you sack a lot of creatures and at your evil leap or whatever, yeah, this is actually not that bad. You can make him bigger, get an extra advantage of the sack of a sack outlet, and it's 2 mana, which is a good cost, and yeah, in a dedicated deck you will become bigger very fast. Then Retreat to Valakut, we already seen this one, and then another land. This one is a forest and a plains, and it does the same as the previous rare land that we've seen. So, on to the next. Okay. It's taking its sweet time. So let's see. Don't know this one yet. For 4 mana, 1 white, we get a Griffin, flying, 2/3, and when he enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Yeah, the 2/3 on its own, it's not very exciting for 4 mana. The gain 2 life, yeah, maybe in decks that can abuse the life gain. But then again, then you will probably be playing vampires, so I don't know. Maybe in an Azorius flying deck where you can buff him, maybe it's more interesting. But on its own, it's not. Then the Tightening calls for 2 mana, 1 blue. We get an aura enchantment, and enchanted creature gets -6, -0, and loses flying. So actually, you just shut down a creature, because -6, not that many creatures have more than 6, except for the Eldrazi maybe. So you should just shut the creature down, but I think there are also better cards that do that than this one. It is 2 mana, it's not that costly, but it can still block and do whatever, so yeah. No. In blue, the other card, how is it called? Claustrophobia, I think. For the 3 mana, it doesn't untap, so that's a way better card if you want to use cards like that. Then the Dominator Drone for 3 mana, 1 black. We get an Eldrazi drone with the Void and Ingest. And whenever he enters the battlefield, if you control another colorless creature, each opponent loses 2 life. Okay, so this is a bit of an aggro card. I see potential with this in a Rakdos deck. Yeah, your third turn, if you already have an Eldrazi, you already deal automatically 2 damage when this one comes in play, and it's a 3/2, which is not bad for 3 mana. Yeah, this is a good card. Then the Skyrider Elf, I think I have all my copies now of it. Then a creature that I'm very fond of, I saw this one also in the story mode, the Firemental Mage. You play him for 3 mana, 1 red. He's an ally and he has rally, and that with him it does actually it gives your ally creature menace, which is a great ability. Allies supposed to be a lot of them on the board, so you giving them all menace is a great ability. Actually, you won't be able to block them all. Then the Blight Herder, we've seen this one already, so I got my 2 copies. Awesome. The next booster. So, first card, Sheer Drop. For 3 mana we destroy target tapped creature. And it has Awaken 3 for 6. It's not a bad card, it's not great either. The fact that it is a tapped creature, in most circumstances that means that he is already dealt damage to you. If this would be at instant speed, it would be so much better, because then if he attacks you can destroy him at instant speed. It does have the Awaken ability, which isn't too bad. And if you play white blue and you play the Lynx, you can tap him and destroy him. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad card, but you have to work a way around it, that it has maximum value. Incubator Drone. For 4 mana, 1 blue. We have a Devoid creature again. And when he enters the battlefield, we get a 1/1 Scion Eldrazi. Yeah, that's a good card, I guess. Although it's a 2/3. Yeah, that's the body is still okay for its cost. So we get a 1/1 on top. So yeah, that's a good card. Then Boiling Earth again. I guess I have all the copies as well. Not that I'm gonna play it, but hey, who cares? The Deathless Behemoth. For 6 colorless mana we get an Eldrazi Vigilance, 6/6. Wow, Vigilance is great. Sacrifice 2 Seance and return him from your graveyard to your hand. Wow, that's actually a good card in a dedicated Eldrazi deck. Yeah, this one has potential, absolutely. Yeah, 6/6 Vigilance for 6 is a good cost. It's very nice. Then the Retreat to Hagra. For 3 mana, 1 red. We get a black enchantment with landfall, and we can make another choice whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, and that is target creature gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch until end of turn. Wow, that's not bad. And then each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Wow. Yeah, this is yeah, that's if you go that vampire way with life gain, I guess this card is an auto include. You gain life, you can gain life every time you play a land, so with all those vampires that do extra stuff with the life gain, that's great. And if not, you can always give your creature +1/+0 and Death Touch, which isn't bad either. I think this is a very good card, yeah, absolutely. Then the Veteran War Leader. For 3 mana, 1 green and 1 white, we get another ally. I've seen this one before too, and his power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control, which normally if you play an ally deck, this one will be pretty fat. And if you tap another untapped ally, then he can gain either First Strike, Vigilance or Trample until end of turn. Yeah, okay, also good card. Don't know if I will play him though, but it's a good card, I guess. Next booster. So let's see, we get The Wavewing Elemental, we already saw that one. The Tajuru Stalwart, saw that one. We saw that one too. This one's new. Carrier Troll, 2 mana, 1 black. When Carrier Troll dies, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Sion creature token onto the battlefield. It has sacrifice. Actually, yeah, actually not bad. A 2/1 for 2 is okay. And when he dies, you get a 1/1, which you can sack for extra mana. Yeah, there is in aggro decks. Yeah, not bad. Gazal, yeah, I see possibilities. We saw this one, and then Nissa's Renewal for 6 mana, 1 green. We can search your library for up to 3 land cards, basic ones, put them onto the battlefield, play tapped, and then shuffle your library. Wow, what the hell? And you gain 7 life. Yeah, this is nuts. So yeah, ramp isn't already strong enough, so they needed to print this card. Yeah, ramp is vulnerable in the beginning, but once they get sufficient land and life gain, like this in for example, then yeah, then you're probably in trouble if you're playing against a deck like that. Okay, so next booster. Only 3 left. Goes fast. Let's see. Shatterskull Recruit. Haven't seen this one before. For 5 mana. 2 red. We get an ally with Menace. He has Menace of his own. And that's it actually. So we pay 5 mana for a 4/4 with Menace. Yeah, I'm not too excited about it. I prefer allies that have an ability when another ally comes into play. So that, and he is costly, he is expensive. I don't think I will play him. Then the Blister Pot, 1 green mana, a 1/1, Devoid. And when he dies, we get also one of those Sions. So, not bad. Then the Brute Hunter Worm for 4 mana, and then we get a vanilla 4/3. Yeah, I don't think that it's bad, but it's vanilla. It's a bit boring. I don't play, most of the time I don't play cards like that. Then the Rotshambler, we saw that one already. I think it's a good card. Then the Vampiric Rites, 1 black, we get an enchantment. For 2 we can sacrifice a creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Wow, awesome. Wow, I think maybe in Golgari this can compete with Evo Leap. Absolutely, it's 1 mana more to pay. But I think if you play this and Evo Leap in a Golgari deck, yeah, that's bananas. Also, for example, if you play a Vampire deck, the life gain is significant. So yeah, I think this is a very powerful card. We'll surely try it out. Then the Prairie Stream, another dual land, and this one is a plains and an island. Cool. On to the next. Come on, Planeswalker. Nope. So let's see. Undu Greathorn. Saw that one in the story mode for 4 mana. We get a 2/3 with first strike and landfall ability that makes him feather until end of turn. We give him +2/+2. Yeah. Once again, I don't know. I don't think that this is that bad. And that's just because he's got first strike. That's giving him a little bit more value. But for 4 mana you only get a 2/3. And yeah, it's an aggressive card. You have to attack with it. Non-ally decks perhaps. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Salvage Drone. We pay 1 and we get a Devoid 1/1 creature. Ingest. And when he dies you may draw a card and discard a card. Okay, not bad at all. Then the Brilliant Spectrum, we saw that one already. Then we move on to the Angel of Renewal, 6 mana, And when it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature you control. Yeah, it is an ally. So yeah, for ally decks that also think of the later game, this is probably not a bad card to have. Yeah. Then Unified Front, yeah, saw that one too before. For 4 mana we can converge and put a 1/1 white core ally creature token onto the battlefield for each color of mana spent to cast Unified Front. Okay, so if you go multicolored ally deck with at least 4 colors, then I think this is an auto include. I played this card in the story mode and this is very, very strong. So if you have a few allies already on the board and you play this for 4 mana with and you spend 4 different colors to cast it, then your allies, they will go bananas. If you have a Hada Freeblade in play or another ally that buffs himself, and then the menace things and all those things going on, then it triggers 4 times. So yeah, absolutely, your legendary creature there, it triggers 4 times. So yeah, it's nuts. Then the Akun Firebird. For 4 mana, 2 red, we get a flying haste creature, 3/3, and he attacks each turn if able. And landfall, whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 6, and if you do, return him to the battlefield from your graveyard. Okay, so that's actually not bad. Yeah, a 3/3 for 4 flying haste is okay. That's a good cost, I think. And the landfall ability, yeah, if you see it as something extra, then yeah, you know, it stands on its own. The 3/3 flying haste is already a good ability, it's worth the cost, and then the landfall is just extra. You can replay it if you don't have anything else to do with your mana. Yeah, good card, I guess. And then for the last booster, I doubt that it will be the Planeswalker, but we'll see. Nope. We get the Giant Mantis. We saw that one. Not too excited about it. The Brute Hunter Worm, 4 mana vanilla. Not excited either. Looming Spires. We saw that one. Retreat to Kazandu. I don't think we saw this one before. So for 3 mana, we get an enchantment. Landfall, whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Either way, we put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, which isn't too bad at all, or we gain 2 life. Now green, yeah, landfall ability in green is always a little bit better than in other colors because you can ramp. So yeah, you can potentially gain some life or buff a creature up. I don't think it's bad for 3 mana. Then the Vile Aggregate for 3, 1 red, devoid. Power is equal to the number of colorless creature you control. Oh ho ho ho. Wow. Trample and ingest. What the hell is this? So, okay. So with all the seals, if you build this around the deck with that creates a lot of seals, this is a beast. His toughness is 5 at 3 mana cost. I think this is a really good card. I think this one has much potential. Yeah, I will definitely try this one out when I have all 3 copies of it. Yeah, absolutely. Then Guardian of Tazim, 5 mana, 2 blue, and we get 4/5 Flying Sphinx, which is already good. And then its landfall ability, what does it do? Whenever a land enters a battlefield under your control, tap target creature that opponent controls. If that land is an island, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Yeah, I think this is a good value creature. You get a little fatty, not too fat, but for a flying it's already good for 5 mana, and yeah, good ability to trigger with the landfall. Yep, absolutely. So guys, I think that's it for today's video. I got some cool cards. I'm actually pretty happy with it. There are some cards, of course, that I want that I didn't get. But with new quests, I think you will be able to get your cards quite quicker. I'm not gonna spend any more money on this game. Wizard of the Coast wasn't very nice with the delay and all that crap, so yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like it if you did, subscribe if you haven't, could use the support, and I see you guys soon. Bye.